Welcome back to the Xultimate Firehose. I'm Jim, and normally this is the part of the show where I tell you that Elon Musk spent the last 24 hours doing 15 completely unrelated things. A rocket update, a meme, a feud with a senator, a 3 in the morning thought about birth rates. The usual Firehose. Not today. Today is different, and I want to be straight with you about why up front. On June 2nd, 2026, into the early morning of June 3rd, Elon Musk posted 26 times. And almost every single one of them was about exactly one thing, one name, one story. So this is not our usual grab bag episode. This is a case study, a real-time 24-hour look at how one contested incident gets turned into a full-blown political movement, a name, a hashtag, a martyr, a protest, and tens of millions of views, often before the basic facts have been confirmed by anyone you could call a newsroom. I want to be careful here because this one is heavy. There is a person at the center of it who, according to these posts, is dead. I'm not going to make light of that, and I'm not going to pretend I can confirm the details from a timeline. What I can do, what this show is actually for, is show you the machine, how the story moves, who passes it to whom, and what 26 posts in a single day tells you about how attention works in 2026. Stay with me, because the story isn't only what Elon said. It's how the saying works. Quick thing before we dive in. If you want more breakdowns like this one, the single most useful thing you can do is hit that like button and drop a comment telling me what you want covered next. I read all of them, genuinely, and the comments shape this show more than anything else on it. Subscribe so the next episode actually finds you. Follow DGTL Dreamscapes over on X if you live on the timeline like I apparently do. And if you've got one friend who has been sending you screenshots of this exact saga all week, send them this instead. Okay, June 2nd, here we go. The first thing you need to understand about this day is the format, because most of what Elon Musk posted was not technically sentences. At 1:51 in the afternoon, he posts 2 words. It's over. That's it. 27 million views. Let that number sit for a second. 27 million on 2 words. 6 minutes later, the longest thing he writes all day, a call to send a video to everyone you know and a claim that legacy media, quote, the same ones who wrote about George Floyd millions of times, are dead silent. 48,000 reposts, 21 million views, and then it just becomes a rhythm. Yes, 269,000 likes. It is this or death. 142,000 likes. True. 12 million views. Here's the thing I keep coming back to. This is a man with one of the largest audiences in human history, and on the biggest news day of his week, he is conducting an entire ideological campaign in increments of 1 and 2 words. Yes. True. Exactly. Each one bolted on top of somebody else's post, each one a cosign. And because the screenshot shows what he's replying to, every 2-word reply is really a way of borrowing someone else's argument and stamping it with 200 million followers worth of reach. That's not laziness. That is the most efficient amplification engine ever built, and it's running on the word yes. So let's talk about the name Everything is Orbiting. Henry Nowak. According to the post driving this, and I want to flag clearly that the details here are coming from commentators and activists on X, not from reporting I can confirm. Henry Nowak was a young man, described as a white British boy who was stabbed and died. Writer Seth Frantzman lays out the version of events being shared, that he had no chance, that he wasn't given the help others might have gotten. 19,000 likes. An account called Alice Smith sharpens it into a thesis. What happened, she writes, was not a tragedy. A tragedy is a noble mistake. This, she says, was evil, and the police response was evil. 6,000 likes. But the framing is doing the heavy lifting. It's converting a death into an indictment of an institution. And I want to be honest with you about where we are at this moment. A real person may genuinely have died, and that deserves to be taken seriously. At the same time, the story you are being handed, who did it, why the police acted the way the post claimed, what it all supposedly proves, is arriving fully assembled with a villain and a moral. Inside 24 hours, sourced almost entirely to accounts that already agreed on the conclusion before the day started. Both of those things can be true at once. Hold them both. Now watch how the story gets its power. It doesn't stand on its own. It's bolted to a comparison. Historian Niall Ferguson supplies the literary version. You will not, he writes, see Henry Nowak's words stenciled on a mural. No corporation will change its logo. The same establishment, he says, that made a few words immortal when spoken by a black man in Minneapolis meant the same words, spoken by a white boy on a British street, with silence. 6,000 likes. But that paragraph is the entire emotional architecture of the day in one breath. The account and wokeness boils it down to a slogan. Irina could have been your daughter. Henry could have been your son. 68,000 likes. That's not an argument. It's a key change. It's designed to move you from a courtroom to your own kitchen table. And Matt Walsh states the actual claim out loud that this case is the BLM narrative in reverse, the exact opposite of reality. 21,000 likes. Here's what I'd ask you to notice. Every one of these posts depends on the George Floyd comparison to mean anything. Take the Mirror away and you have a crime story. Add the Mirror and suddenly a single street in Southampton is supposed to settle a decade of argument about race, policing, and media. That's a lot of weight to hang on a comparison that nobody in these posts actually proves. They just assert it beautifully and let the contrast do the work. And then we get the single biggest post of the entire day, 6:25 in the evening. Elon writes, and I'm quoting, "Did you know that official police policy requires them to be racist against whites? It is deeply wrong and must change." 22 million views, 191,000 likes. I have to stop on this one. Because of all 26 posts, this is the one that matters most and gets examined least. That is an extraordinary claim, an official written policy mandating racism. If that were true and provable, it would be one of the biggest stories in Britain. And an extraordinary claim like that needs extraordinary evidence, a document, a directive, a source you can read. A one-line post, even one seen 22 million times, is not evidence. It's an assertion. Views are not proof. They never have been. The number measures how far something traveled, not whether it was true when it left. By this point, the conclusion is being stated plainly down the thread. An account called C3, there is systemic racism in 2026, and it's against white people. 13,000 likes. The thing about a day like this is that the most sweeping claims arrive last, after the emotional groundwork is already poured, so by the time someone says the quiet part, it feels less like a leap and more like a summary. Threaded all the way through, this is a second story about the media itself. At 6:56, Elon posts, "Unless you become the media, you will never know the truth." 16 million views. And earlier legacy media lies both by promoting false stories and by ignoring true ones. 15 million views. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you mainstream media gets everything right. It doesn't. And follow the story. Not the headline is honestly decent advice. But I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't point out the geometry of this. The man telling you to distrust the media and become the media yourself owns the media. He owns the platform every one of these posts is published on. He owns the algorithm that decided 22 million of you should see the policy claim and that the correction, if one ever comes, will be seen by approximately your aunt. Become the media sounds like a call to independence. On this particular website, it's also a description of the landlord. Pixtora. By the next morning, he's escalated to theology. A thread calling the West's stance on racism a, quote, utterly evil state religion. Worse than rape or murder. Exactly right, he replies to himself, essentially. And the thread trails off into an image with no words at all. Notice the engagement, though. That morning thread pulled a few 100,000 views, a rounding error next to the afternoon. By dawn, the Firehose had moved on. The movement was already built. The follow-up is just maintenance. Because here's the part I really want you to see. Elon didn't build this alone, and on a day like this, he's less an author than a hub. Watch the relay. 8:45 in the morning before most of Elon's posts. Activist Tommy Robinson posts a time and a place, 6 p.m., Southampton Police Station. See you there. 4.8 million views. That is the moment an online narrative grows legs and becomes a thing that happens on a physical street. Midday, an account distills the whole day into one sentence. This is why mass immigration must be ended. That's the destination this entire story was always driving toward, and it gets there in 7 words. By night, Matt Walsh posts, "I stand with the indigenous people of the UK." 44,000 likes, the biggest non-Elon number of the day. And around the edges, the intellectual varnish. Psychologist Gad Sad on the hatred he gets from academics. 1 million views. And an account musing about the post-war psychology of how ordinary men became camp executioners. 500 likes. Small. But notice the move. It lends the day the flattering glow of serious history. Put it all in a row and you can see the assembly line. The protest organizer supplies the action. The slogan account supplies the conclusion. The historian supplies the gravitas. And Elon supplies the reach, one yes at a time. Nobody had to coordinate it. The incentives did that for free. And I want to end the timeline somewhere strange because there is exactly one post in this entire 24 hours that isn't about any of this. At 7 in the morning, before the whole thing kicked off, an account called XFreeze posted a tidy little summary of Elon's actual business empire. SpaceX, supposedly the largest IPO in history, expected around June 12th. XAI, Grok V9, 1.5 trillion parameters launching mid-month. Tesla, unsupervised FSD robotaxis on the road. Three of the most consequential things happening in technology on planet Earth. A rocket company about to go public, a frontier AI model, self-driving cars carrying actual passengers, 478,000 views. A footnote, and I think that's the quietest, most telling fact of the whole day. The most powerful entrepreneur alive had a genuinely historic business week sitting right there, and it got completely buried by him under a grievance narrative that he himself spent the day amplifying 2 words at a time. The rockets can wait, the outrage cannot. That's not an accident of the algorithm. On this day, that was the choice. So that's June 2nd into June 3rd. 26 posts, 1 subject, a name, a comparison, a claim, a protest, and a conclusion, assembled, distributed, and monetized in a single rotation of the earth. Let me leave you with the one thing I actually want you to keep. A person at the center of a story being real does not make the story being told about them true. Those are 2 separate questions, and a day like this is engineered to make you feel like they're the same one. 22 million views is a measure of velocity, not accuracy. When a narrative arrives this fast, this complete, and this conveniently aligned with what its loudest sharers already believed, that is exactly the moment to slow down and ask who benefits from you sharing it before you've checked it. That's the whole job of this show. Not to tell you what to think, to show you the machine so you can see it working on you in real time. If this was useful, you know the drill, and I'll keep it honest. The algorithm genuinely only cares about 2 things, whether you liked it and whether you commented, so do both. And the feed will quietly hand you more of this and less of the junk. Tell me in the comments what you want me to dig into next, because I do read them and I do follow the good ones. Subscribe so you don't have to remember to come back. Follow DGTL Dreamscapes on X. And if today made you think of one person who needs to slow down before they reshare, send it to them. That's the most useful thing you can do with it. I'm Jim. This was the Xultimate Firehose. Check the date on the story before you check it out. See you next time.